right, welcome back to another episode, Full Fletch Podcast. Boys, we are all together again.
All three. The three.
Don't you dare say it. Don't you dare say it. Bronies.
The three jabronis.
The three amigos is what he was going to say.
Yeah,
Correct.
That's exactly what he was going to say.
The three musketeers.
Close enough. That's close to what he was about to say.
A virgin.
That is close.
The three
It's
virgins.
been a while since we've had all three. It's been like 2 months since we've had all three of us on.
Yeah, it's been a minute. How about that?
But everybody's been caught up on everything. Everybody listens to at least bits and pieces of some podcasts, so we are all in the loop on what everybody's been up to. So nothing too surprising for anybody. I don't know. Tanner, I guess give us a little update on where you've been, what you've been up to.
First of all, we got to give a shout out to Mike Mulvaney.
Mike
How are you
Mulvaney.
gonna-
Oh, yeah.
How are you going to glaze over this?
Well,
Come
okay,
on.
so you guys don't. I didn't tell you. I already recorded the episode with him for the first
You told
episode
us.
of that series. Yep. So I mentioned it in that one. So I guess we'll give a shout out to him again on the group.
Shout out Mike Mulvaney.
Shout out.
Super awesome accomplishment to
Yeah.
if listeners or viewers decided to skip that episode, we mentioned it, and this one will be episode 30. Episode 29, we mentioned it, talked about it a little bit more in depth. My dad was nominated or elected to the Hall of Fame at University of Wyoming for their athletics department. So he played sometime in the 80s, and so here we
84
are.
to 86, I think it was. What I read today.
What sport? You didn't tell them what sport.
Baseball.
That's when
Big
Wyoming
baseball
had
guy.
baseball.
Yeah, they got rid of it in 96. Conveniently, the year I was born, or ironically, I guess you could say.
I think that's
So-
when DU got rid of theirs.
Really?
My dad
Title
played
IX.
at DU.
Title IX.
Yeah, so yeah, they went up and they did the initial introduction on these are all the people that got elected to the Hall of Fame this year, and it was like a big halftime show, whatever. Everybody walks
Cool.
out at halftime at the basketball game, and then in September. And so I've been trying to keep it under wraps for a while. We were trying to do some scheduling because we know Brooks's wedding is supposed to be in September. And then my dad's actual induction is in September also. And so we're going to fly out for that. And so we were hoping, because the induction and everything is Friday, and then they're going to do another halftime thing at the football game on Saturday. And so it was like, well, the big thing is going to the induction ceremony and all that on Friday. And then we were hoping that it all lined up to the same weekend that Brooks's wedding was, and so that I could just make one big trip. But it's not. I think they're either back-to-back weeks or like 2 weeks apart. But that's all right. It's both of them will be worth the trip, so
Absolutely.
it'll be good. It'll be good. So yeah, we're excited for him, and obviously he's excited, and yeah, definitely a huge accomplishment, big honor. And one of those things where he mentioned it, he wasn't expecting it ever in his lifetime, and it was just like, well, I had a good career, yada yada, and just kind of hang your hat on that, and then kind of out of nowhere, and maybe the story will come out at some point, but we don't really even know the full story on who or why or when. We know it was like sometime this year. He's pretty sure that he got nominated for it, and we don't know exactly how the process worked, but yeah, so more to be said on it later. I guess there's some more details, and I'm sure there's going to be more details come September on how it all came to fruition and whatnot, but super cool.
Yep. And he's in the same class as Josh Allen, which is pretty cool, too.
Yeah, we didn't mention that one. So yeah, Josh Allen, he likely will not be there for that either.
Right.
He's going to be busy doing some other things, still balling it up. So, but yeah, it'll be cool to go back. I mean, Laramie is a fun town anyways, going back for a football game and all that. And on top of that, celebrate him.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Congrats, Mike.
I think you and I met in Laramie, now that I think about it. Yeah.
Was it Cheyenne? No, it was Cheyenne. Wasn't it? Or
No.
maybe we did meet
I
before.
think it was the first time we met. Well, like formally was. I think we were in Laramie, or
Ocean.
I
When
don't
I was
know.
recruiting.
Yeah, it was Ryan, whatever the fuck his last name was. It doesn't matter what his name was, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, he ended up kind of being a little bit of a turd. I'm sure he doesn't
Yes.
listen, so it's whatever. But yeah, he was a turd.
Kurd for sure. Yeah, that was.
Great
Anyway,
state of Wyoming.
Wyoming.
So
Wyoming.
Tanner Tanner and I were the first ones to go on his boat, but Tanner has been out on the boat since. So that's kind of what I was hinting at there. Tanner, any updates on the boat?
yeah, Emily and I took it out. We had some nice weather come through 2 weekends ago, I think.
Or three, yeah.
Yeah, whatever, before the cold snap. But it was nice. So we decided to just slap it on the water and see what happened, and kind of getting used to operating it. And we did a little picnic and whatever, and did some casting, not so much catching, but
Drop a
it
little
was,
line in the water.
yeah, it was cool to be out and fun to kind of experiment with it and all that jazz. We ended up getting stopped by TWRA, Tennessee Wildlife Officer, and I think you're just kind of doing a survey or consensus, whatever you want to call it, and ask if I mean, I had like my license ready to show him, like voter registration, and he didn't ask for any of it,
Yeah.
So he's like, y'all catching anything today? Nope. He said, yeah, it seems to be the same. He said, yeah, I mean, we were just coming off a cold snap before that, so then the water was not warm by any means, and it was low. So
Right.
I asked him, I said, they're probably still pretty deep, huh? And he said, yeah, for sure. So, and I was not doing any deep water fishing. I was throwing a swimmer bait 10 feet down and seeing what happened. But it was fun. It was really cool to see. We went over, we dropped it on that boat ramp over across from where we'd been hunting, and we drove into that picture that I sent you guys. It was that cove that you and I walked around, and then we walked up that opening where we saw those other hunters. So pretty easy access to that little area, and we now have another way to get in from the backside. So that's pretty cool.
I
Like,
love access from the backside.
absolutely. And the nice thing about this boat is like it's a little bass boat. It's made out of like super heavy duty plastic, so it's 100 and I'd say 170 pounds, 180 pounds with motor and battery on it. So like if we take it in and drop it and on the shore, like it's not going to be that big of a deal to get it on the beach so it doesn't float away. I also have an anchor too, but like it's definitely a game changer. And it's going to be, I've been meaning to talk to you about it closer we get to turkey season, but like I want to do a lot of scouting on the boat for turkeys because like that little spot where we saw when we were duck hunting that one day, like I want to go over there and just kind of make like a fishing day out of it, but also there's turkey scouting. So
Yeah, for sure. I think Bryant, he texted me like last week. He's like, 2 weekends from now, can we go out and do stuff? Like the weather's finally going to be nice because for Nashville, it's been cold and we've had some snow and yeah, shipping shitty weather. So he was like, can we get out and like, I want to scout or shed hunt or something like just something. I just want to walk around and, just be in nature for a day or
yeah.
both days out of the weekend. So maybe he'd be interested in meeting us somewhere and hiking one day and we boat around another or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, like we could just all like we could just fish wherever too. We don't even have to put the boat on the water because you cannot fit. Or you can fit 3 people, but it's somebody's gonna have to be laying down underneath you. You're gonna be looking up at somebody's sack because you got to. It's not a ton of weight
Not a ton
capacity
of
on that
room
thing.
there.
So, but yeah, I mean I agree as well. This coming weekend, Emily's out of town, and then I have plans. But then the weekend after that is our anniversary.
I
But
see.
yeah, it's just never fucking stops. But it's all right. We'll find a point where like we're gonna be slow in our lives and be able to do some fishing and get ready for turkey season.
Yeah. Yep. Brooks,
And that,
what
oh, sorry.
oh no, what do you got,
Go
Tanner?
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, you had mentioned something about choke tubes to Bryant and I a couple
Oh
weeks
yeah.
ago because we were talking about choke tubes for duck hunting, and I'm definitely on the same page on that front for like next year. And like I've also even thought about like going a gauge lower. I've been thinking about getting a 20 gauge for ducks and whatever. Just like you get down these crazy rabbit holes. I'm definitely going to get a choke tube for turkey season this year and not try to just run a full choke. Which,
Yeah, that'd be best
yeah,
for
which like,
turkey as well.
right, which like, I mean, I'd love to kill turkey with my bow, but I'm just going to use my shotgun. Sorry.
I'm just so dead set on it. Like I don't know if it's my stubbornness or I just think it would be cool or what, but I'm just
Yeah.
like dead set. I'm doing it with my bow, and I don't think anything could convince me otherwise. So
More power to you. You don't want to shoot.
I
You don't want to shoot a turkey load. I don't blame you.
no,
Boom.
speaking of choke tubes, I meant to talk about it at other points throughout the couple times that we've talked about ducks in recent episodes, but I would look at those molar choke tubes or Mueller. They've got all sorts of choke tubes, but they've got turkey, and then they've got like two duck, I guess, tubes that are like really nice. They've got passing and decoy, and they say you can't really go wrong with either, but I guess they're like better than any other choke tube, whatever. Everybody would say that, but those are the ones I'm going to look at for duck at least. So I don't know. Maybe give a look at them. Or not telling you what to do, but obviously you're going to do your shopping and doing your research. But
Yeah. All right, Brooks, let's hear it.
yeah, Brooks, you've been after it lately the last few days.
Chomping at the bit.
After it with this fish.
Yeah.
He's holding up his bow, Tanner.
Holding up my
Okay.
boat.
I figured
and for the
he wasn't
listeners,
he wasn't holding just his dog or something.
No. No. Yeah, I've been getting after it this past like week or so ever since I got my bow back, and it's been fun.
You're obsessed.
I'm obsessed. Back. I'm
that's good.
obsessed.
It's a good obsession to have. Better than other obsessions, better addictions.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Like mom, I could be on drugs or something, but no, I'm addicted to the bow.
This one might cost more, but even
This one might cost. It's the truth. But yeah, it's been good. Just practicing a lot, still trying to dial in my sight a little bit. Just making small adjustments here and there that are needed. So today was it yesterday? Yesterday I brought my bow back to Bear Creek to get my peep aligned again because it started to twist, and then I put on the Bomar peep tuner as well, which has been nice.
What did you just say? Who?
Bomar?
he doesn't like Bomar for some reason. He's got his stink face on.
My stank face. Anyway,
What did they say anything about that peep tuner?
No, they just said they would just put it in for me.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know if they had an opinion or not. Not that it mattered, but I didn't know if they were like, "Oh yeah, these are great," or if they were like, "Okay, cool, whatever, man."
They just sort of like, "We'll put it in for you." I was like, "Okay." Yeah. And then so after that, I went straight to the range and just shot the regular range, not the 3D, but just the target. I didn't because I forgot my
Rangefinder.
rangefinder at home. And I mean, I pretty much know what the distances are for our 3D course memorized by now, but I don't know. It's always nice to have. Granted, I should probably learn how to judge distance without a rangefinder, but
it's a good skill to acquire.
I'll eventually get there. But I did that for like an hour yesterday, and then today I only had about 45 minutes at the range as well. I did the 3D today, busted an arrow. That was cool. And
Not by
then,
doing bad.
yeah,
Well,
well, I definitely jerked that shot. I like came back and jerked it, and it, boom, straight into the metal that holds up the 3D target. I was like, nice,
He's a
cool.
jerker.
And yeah. I heard it right away. I was like, yep, that was done. And then it was super muddy today, like kind of dangerously muddy. I thought I was gonna like, I definitely fell down a couple times, but not like bad. Like I just kept sliding, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is terrible. It was such a nice day though, so it was fine. I made do what I could.
I mean, you
Um,
guys did just get like 9 inches of.
we did, yeah, and then we got 9 inches of snow on Friday, and then
So the
yesterday was,
shock factor should go from like a 9 to like a 1.
well, yeah, but it's 9 inches of snow on Friday, and then it was 55 degrees yesterday and 64 degrees today. So
It's like
let's
classic
call it
Colorado right there.
classic Colorado. And there was like no wind, and I was like, man, it's perfect. So
That is
yeah,
nice.
that's I did get the Ghost sticks for my bow.
That's
Big
good.
fan. But I learned real quick that since I don't have like a 2024 2025 bow for the Ghost sticks, uh, the bolt comes out pretty after you shoot a few, the bolt comes out holds the Ghost sticks pretty quick. So I bought I bought Loctite to put it on the bolt so it won't go anywhere.
Well,
Yeah. All right.
Because the new ones, the 2024, 2025 models, have this little bolt that you screw in that holds the actual Ghost sticks in place, so it doesn't like move.
Yeah.
So yeah. Other than that,
You got a membership to that place, right?
I did get a
Where you
membership.
go shoot.
Yep, over in the Highlands Ranch Range. It's so they did a half season membership, which I mean they don't prorate or anything, so it was $95 since I'm a non Highlands Ranch resident,
Yeah.
and then it expires on May 31st, and then on June 1st I'll have to pay for the full year, which is like $175 or something like that. Which honestly is not that bad, because if you're a non-resident and you go to the 3D course without membership, you have to pay $20. So it's worth it. But
I was talking to Mason, mentioned him, and Tanner. You met Mason the night that we were tracking his buck. He went and shot the 3D course or whatever their tournament last weekend when
Old Archery.
NWTF was here, and he went ahead and he got a membership there. I forget what he said, but it was ridiculous how much money they were charging for a yearly membership.
Yeah, and it's $20 to a person to do 25 targets.
Yeah.
And
geez.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like it's fun, but it's so ass like the middle of July here that like I would rather just shoot in my backyard and be able to walk inside for 10 minutes and like have a cold Pepsi Zero. Or like, like just chill in some AC for a minute, because like we've talked about it before, we spent like 3 fucking hours shooting that course last year. It was terrible, terrible. There were ticks all over the place, and it was just like 95 degrees with 90% humidity, and just like sweat dripping down your buns.
Yeah, it's almost worth I would have to check my schedule, my work schedule. The reason we always went in the afternoons last year was because I would work the morning right before. And
I think we went once in the morning.
Yeah. So like to be one of the first groups out there might be worth it to just like, hey, let's go while it's still the cool part of the day and get it over with. But if it's not, it's like you said, it may not even be worth it to do that.
we only went 3 times too. Like we decided. I think we went April, May, June, and it wasn't July. It was April, May, June, and June was last. We're like, we're not doing this again.
Yeah, because they go all the way into August. They do one in August too, and it's just like it's only once a month, but dang, it is. Yeah, if you're doing it in the afternoon, it's gnarly. But Mason wants us to go, or he wants me to go out. I'm sure he would enjoy it. And I was telling it to somebody, but to go out and just have fun and shoot in a group that you actually know the people and you're not shooting with like total randos. A little bit more fun. And it's fun to go. Like it was fun last year, just Tanner and I. But then it was just like, okay, we're just shooting to us two, and kind of got annoyed by other people and what have you.
And like you feel weird because they're these like competition shooters there, and then they're practicing, and it's almost like golf, where like you don't want to like talk while they're shooting, because it's like you feel like you're gonna get like fucking smoked for like saying anything, like having a conversation. It was strange. I'd rather just like shoot in my backyard or go over the parking lot where we hunt and just shoot over there.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, speaking of PD shoots, they had their first, I think, it was the first ASA event of the year. And I watched, they posted on YouTube today. It's like 54 minutes. I think it was a condensed version of all of the stuff that they did on Friday. And they, I guess, did it, or they're doing it different this year. They used to only keep it at 50 yards maximum, and they bumped it up to 60-yard maximum. So there's some, I guess, added interest there. But I just got really intrigued because I didn't really pay much attention to the competition archer arrows that they were using, even in person. And last year when I like watched some of those tournaments more live or whatever, they're using like almost like indoor size arrows where they're like as super wide in diameter. And I mean, it makes sense because, if you're even touching a line, you get that point. You get that whatever. If you're on the 10, you're on that 12 ring, just barely touching it, you get the 12. And so, bigger arrow, you get more chance at hitting it. But yeah, I don't know. I was intrigued by just looking at the differences.
Yeah. We dropped the ball on tack also.
Yep. Yeah, Brooks and I admitted to that. Hand up, ownership. We screwed up.
Well,
we will find a way.
I swear I had, and it just happened again that like I signed up for like an update when it went live, and I never got anything. And we were in the airport, and I just happened to like see Total Archery Challenge on Instagram. And I was like, I wonder when the registration for Tennessee is. And I looked, and it was that morning, and all of Friday was sold out. All of Saturday was sold out.
Yeah, that was quick.
Which it's not surprising.
It's one of those things where you almost have to jump on it like right as soon as it opens and have your calendar set.
It's not surprising because it's going to be like you're going to be pulling from Georgia, Alabama, probably going to get people coming from Arkansas, and then Kentucky as well, and like the Carolinas. So
right. Well, and Brooks and I were even talking like people will fly across the country if they want to go to like a region that they haven't been to do it. It's like, oh, I've done Texas and Colorado. I've never done Utah and Tennessee or Montana or whatever. And it's like, oh, maybe I'll do that one this year instead of this one. And I don't know, good for them that they're like so busy and popular. But like, dang, for it to go that fast is wild.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're probably. I mean, I don't know. My opinion on it is like they've been around long enough, and I think they should know better by now. That like you should maybe like in these bigger regions like Utah and like Texas, like if they do one shoot in Texas, I think, in San Antonio. And it's like, hey, Texas is the biggest state in the US. Like you should probably do 2 weekends there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think they are getting big enough, or it's one of those things where I'm sure they're trying to take their time and not get too big for their britches, and kind of space out to where it's like, okay, we get one event a year, because I think it's just the same group of people just drive around the country all spring and summer and do the same thing. And Well, it's actually like a smaller operation than it seems, from my understanding. Like it's a 20-person thing, but then they just hire out like people to come locally to do things.
Which
And so it's like,
they definitely make money from vendors too, though. It's like, hey, Sitka, come put a fucking tent up here. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Oh,
And
they
they get
charge an
people and
arm
they
and a
get
leg.
people right. And they get people from those companies to help to set up like in those local events. But it's like I definitely agree. I think if they branched out and they made it to where they had like 2 different teams, 3 different teams going, and then they could have multiple sites in the same weekend, that would get really expensive for them because of the number of targets you have to buy and
Yeah.
all that crazy stuff. But it would be worth it because then population density per event would go down, but in a good
Yeah.
way, because you'd be able to be like, hey, if you're on the west side of the U.S., you can go to the San Antonio or like a Dallas or something like that. And if you're on the
Regional.
eastern side, yeah, you can go to the one in Tennessee or Pennsylvania or whatever. And it's like,
And maybe they don't have the manpower for that. I mean, I feel like they have been around and are, maybe they don't want to be, but I feel like they could absolutely do like a 3 region.
right.
What do I
Yeah,
know?
3 different teams setting it up, or 3 different events, like every time that they have an event.
Yeah. And it's like you can have people that live in that region, like you could find ways for people to volunteer, like I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure that they've thought about a billion different things to do, but I definitely feel like that you could run in the southeast region of the United States, that you could run 10 different events and it would be well worth your time. You know what I mean? And then like you have your mountain west to western region, and then you have Midwest and Northeast. Like, I don't know. I feel like that there's a pretty large opportunity there, to be honest with you.
Right. I definitely agree. Definitely agree.
That's why you guys will come to Western Hunt Fest this year.
I started looking at it, Brooks, and I mean, I'm not saying no, but the first one is a no for me just because timing. I don't think I'd be able to find a flight soon enough. But like I said, if there is a very cheap flight for one of those, for like the last one, what would you say, the one in Bailey? I think it's
Bailey,
the
yeah.
last one. If there was a super cheap flight, I can maybe make that work. I'd have to jump on it. Like I said,
Southwest.
$59 Southwest.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
When is that?
Wasn't that like July?
July. Let me look at the calendar.
Flip calendar.
It looked interesting, and it's different. It's like an actual event, like competition. I mean, I know you can do like the not competition side of it, but I don't know. Part of me is like, hey, a little competition wouldn't hurt.
It
I haven't
is the
competed in some
26th
in a
and
while.
27th of July.
26, 27. Right before my sister's birthday.
Maybe it'll be worth it. Maybe she can go with you.
Well, the American Bowman place it's really cool. You guys would like that a lot in Bailey.
That's what. Oh no, it's not. It's not American Bowman. Never mind. Ignore. But
Well, I guess one of the last things or big things that we wanted to talk about, we've been kind of saving this one, or I've been saving it for when Tanner's been on. But there's been a bill introduced in Tennessee that they're going to vote on coming down the pike about
which pike?
there's lots of pikes in Tennessee.
Lots
That's
of
true.
pikes. Hey, I've got some pretty cool history I can share with you about pikes. I've been reading a book called The Outlaw Years of the Natchez Trace.
Let's give us the spark notes. Give us some
All
history on pike.
All right, so it's really only like I got two major ones, but this book is about the outlaws of this part of the world after the Revolutionary War. Okay, so the preface of the book, it just talks kind of about like this area, like Tennessee, and then up in Kentucky, whatever. So, and this book was written in 1930, so it's really hard to read. It's like Old English, so sometimes I'm like, I read a sentence like 3 times. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. But So the guy, and this will be more so for people that live in Nashville that'll understand this or have been here, know something about this place. But there was a French Canadian that came down here in like the 1780s. I want to say maybe it was the 60s, 1760s. But his last name was de Montbriand. De Montbriand is like turns into Broadway. So de Montbriand is the main street. His last name was de Montbriand. He's the first person that came to Nashville, settled Nashville. So that's why de Montbriand Street is named that. And then there were two other guys that came down from the Northeast. Last name Robertson, last name Donaldson Pike. Now, the reason like that's important is Donaldson's daughter married Andrew Jackson. So it's like, there's your 2 and 2. But Nashville and like Tennessee, they don't have avenues. They have pikes. So there's like, and these pikes are named after people from what I understand, or like historical events. So like there's Donaldson Pike, Murfreesboro Pike, there's Brick Church Pike, there's Dickinson Pike. Like everything's a pike, not street or avenue. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, like literally, it's called a pike. It's
yeah, like Pike's Peak, but
Pike. So like Murfreesboro Pike runs from Nashville down to Murfreesboro, and then like Brick Church Pike, Dickerson Pike. Or is it Dickerson? It is Dickerson Pike, which are like that's like two of the roughest parts of Nashville, honestly. And then there's a whole like there's Nashville Pike, there's Gallatin Pike, like it's really weird.
Yeah, instead of being road or boulevard or avenue.
Yeah. So
good factoids there, Tan Man.
Sorry guys. I nerded out for a second. I've really been into been kind of a history buff lately.
Yeah.
After
I was telling Caitlin, we being not from here, like we took Colorado history growing up and like in elementary school, and you always talk about it growing up, like throughout school. Yeah. But you like in general, you know things about Colorado, but it's like, okay, we don't talk about things from other states. And it's like, I don't know anything about here. So like we almost need like a Tennessee history 101 or whatever.
Well, the coolest thing about Tennessee is it's been here. It was here 80 years before Colorado was set like an actual state. Like Colorado became a state in 1876, right? And Tennessee's been around since like it was one of the first states. You know, it was one of the first 13 states. So there's so much history here. Like it's crazy how much like you go to Knoxville or Chattanooga and it's like just so old. Yeah. And like I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. I've been like super into history lately. I think it's just like I don't know. I guess it's just a fade.
It's kind of funny because I've just started watching 1883, then I started looking up all that stuff they had to deal with back in the day, and I was like, Jesus, this stuff's insane.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't know, it's pretty cool shit. And actually, this one's pretty cool too. I got this map for Emily, and it's the Chuckle map of Tennessee, and it's like all these old timey, like cartoon locations in the map of Tennessee. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I think this was made up in like the 1800s or something, if I'm not wrong. But anyway, sorry.
That's funny. No, it's fine. It's all good.
Coming down the pike is the new bill.
Yeah, coming down the pike, new bill, Tennessee. They are basically copying it off of Alabama. So the bill is allowing private landowners to purchase a permit to hunt over bait. So to be able to bait, you're able to bait in Tennessee, but you're not able to hunt over that bait. And so what I guess has to happen is the bait either has to like
you have to have it removed 10 days or more prior to season start.
Yeah, so I guess that's open to interpretation. Like, do you set it out and then, like, the last time you set it out is 10 minutes or 10 minutes, 10 days after the last time you set it out? Or, like, you had to physically remove it and then 10 days after?
I think it has to be, like, it's completely gone, like, not to be seen 10 days before the actual season.
Yeah. And so...
That's my interpretation.
Right. And so that was the way it was. and or is the way it is. But the way that they're trying to go about it now is introducing this opportunity for private landowners to purchase permits to be able to hunt over bait all season. And so, like, there's no limitations to it. That would make it very much similar to how Kansas is. You can hunt on private land over bait, not on public land. And so, that being said, that kind of it just changes the opportunity and a little bit of other things that go on with it. I don't know. Initially, I just kind of want to get your guys' thoughts. What's the pros and cons coming to mind right away?
I want to hear Brooks' thoughts first.
Why mine first?
Why not? Do you not have any?
I got thoughts. You're just like you. It's like you want to like call me out or something. Like,
No, I don't. Because it's like it's like a non-bias because you don't live here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's in my opinion, if you have your own private land and you can hunt on it, you should be able to do what you want.
I agree.
That's just me.
Because you have to pay to do what you want on your own land.
No.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though, is
Why?
like
It's
understood, but like you can't poach deer on your own land. Like you can't illegally kill
Well,
animals on your own land. You know what I mean? Like you still have to
yeah.
pay for a hunting license, which like I know people that
saying,
don't do that.
yeah. I guess I'm saying I'm talking about the bill. I'm not actually talking about purchasing hunting license. Like I get we need hunting license so we don't kill everything we can't hunt anymore. I get that. I'm saying like if you have your own private land and you want to hunt over feed, you shouldn't have to pay for that.
Josh Bomar does that. I'm just kidding. It's allegedly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, like most people do anyway. That like it's not an uncommon practice for people to hunt over bait here.
Yeah.
So looks like Justin's looking it up right now. But like, I mean, they're going to introduce it, and there's going to be the little bit of landowners that are going to do it, and like be, if you want to call them a good Samaritan, fine. But there's going to be those landowners that don't, and it's like they're never going to get fucking caught doing it, you know, unless they're on Facebook bragging, I chucked this deer over a corn pile. So, but like, I know, like I've talked to landowners here that they don't even buy hunting permits, like, but they're also like, hey, I'm not going to go out. Like it's my own land. I should be able to do that on my own land in season. And like, hey, I'm not killing 5 to 10 deer a year here. Like I'm shooting 1 to 2 deer and like, leave me alone. Like I just want to be left alone.
Right.
So, I mean, if I owned my own land, like I would probably put feed out, and I even like I haven't brought this up at all, but I'm even considering putting out like a mineral block this year over a camera and like seeing what I can actually attract and see what's out there more than just does all the time, you know? And like, yeah, like I can say that and still go out there 10 days before season and take this mineral block out and take it home with me if I want to. That, or I can just put it behind the camera, you know? Right. But you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I think it's a silly bill, and I think that it's like they're kind of reaching at this point to like get people to pay money in like niche ways, I suppose, and like I don't know. I think it's just kind of weird. I think the way that TWRA operates is very strange. Like they don't really have a presence, it seems like, and it's like if they do, it's because they know that somebody's up to no good. Just like when Justin, you told us that one day that like they were all over the place over by your house because like it sounded like somebody was hunting deer out of season, like weeks out of season, you know? Right. So like, I don't know. I've yet to have like a real like actual encounter with them where it's been like worth the shit, you know, and like I'm sure that'll happen this hunting season now. But
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I just like, it's very weird to be hunting public land and like, maybe it's how they want it. Like you don't want to see them, or they don't want to be seen. But at the same time, it's like, hey, you'll know if they're around because they're going to wait. Like if they're in a parking lot, they're going to wait till people come back to their vehicles to check tags and check
Right.
what they've got with them, you know?
That's the only time I ever encountered one. The 2 years that I've hunted here is I went to one spot I don't go to very often. I only went to it once this year, and I just happened to walk out, and he was in the parking lot checking tags for everybody. That's the only time I've seen anybody checking licenses or anything like that in the field. The only other time I've ever seen them is they're driving down the highway, and like I've just
Literally,
seen the
or they're
vehicles.
at a gas station
Yeah, and then like you
or
said,
end up.
right, they were there at WTF, and that was it. But that one and the other time was, yeah, there's like a report of possible deer poaching, and there were two TWRA trucks parked where we parked to hunt ducks. And so it was like, well, you never see them, so the fact that they're there, something's up. So,
Yeah.
but I guess to the point that Tanner had made, or the comment he made saying that they don't really have a presence, well, part of that is, we had talked about it many episodes back now about they are in a budget deficit and they don't make money and all these things. And so I believe this is, I don't know who wrote the bill or how it got introduced. Like I said, I do know it's kind of supposed to be copying Alabama in a little bit in a lot of ways, because uh this doing it this way is, okay, say each private landowner has to do a $25 permit per feeder or however it is. And I'm not saying that's how it's going to be. Maybe it's just $25 or $50, and you can just have as many feeders as you want, and you can bait, and it's no big deal. It's your land. You have the permit for it. But multiply that, say it's whatever, $50 times millions of landowners in a state. Like, you're talking about, you can make a lot of money, a
Yeah.
lot of money. And
And there are a
so
lot of people in this part of the country that are not going to pay that.
that's true, but there's also a lot of people, because they don't want to get in trouble, are going to pay it. And Alabama has seen, I believe the number was between $3 and $4 million a year over the last 2 years that they've had it. And so for Tennessee to look at it and say, we're in a budget deficit, we don't make money, we don't have a presence, we're not respected, and a lot of it probably, in their opinion, boils down to they don't have the money. Well, this is now a way that they can say, hey, this is how we can make money, and this is how we can improve ourselves and be seen in a better light, because we're going to charge you more, but it's also going to give us more to introduce or improve our own resources.
Right.
Yeah, I
So,
guess. I suppose. I mean, like, in my opinion, I don't really know if that's the way to go about it, but like,
well, I think it was creative at the least. Whether it's going to be effective or whether it even gets passed, I
right.
don't know. There, it would take effect July 1. It looks like, whenever they vote on it. So I'm sure they're going to be voting on it pretty soon. But um, yeah, I mean, there's those pros, and there's also cons to it. I mean, people in general talk about, when you bait, you're inviting the opportunity for disease to grow faster, because you're bringing in, one deer with CWD goes in, and I don't know how it spreads. However, it does spread. Maybe it's through ticks or whatever. They jump from one to another, and next thing you know, it spreads like wildfire. Tennessee, I guess, has minimized the CWD issue, because they used to have a CWD unit and now they don't, and so maybe that part has improved. But I don't know. That's like the big concern, is people saying disease can improve or increase, and with feeding, and so to have more people feeding, like Tanner said, there's people that are going to feed regardless whether they have a permit or not. And people have been doing it for a while. It's just, you don't know how many people. And so it's just like, okay, what's the impact that's going to be had on more people baiting? Are there going to be more instances of disease? People, I don't know. I don't know any science on it, but apparently they say it doesn't help turkey numbers. Like it hurts turkey numbers for whatever reason. Maybe it's the same type of thing, disease, and consolidating them to an area and predators can get them more easily. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other cons as opposed to just, people are going to do it anyways and poachers poach, you know?
Yeah, I mean that I don't think you're ever going to change that. Somebody that doesn't follow the law is probably never going to follow the law. You know what I mean? But like, and
Absolutely. Yeah, probably not.
you have a small sample size of people that are like, I just don't want to, like, I shouldn't have to pay money to shoot something that's on my land if I'm doing it in an ethical way, like humanly ethical. You can say that, well, it's like there's a billion different ideas behind what's right and what's wrong. It's like, yeah, sure, but like why should why should somebody that pays money to own this property have to pay more money to harvest something that's on that property? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I mean, whatever. You got to pay taxes on everything these days.
Hopefully
Hopefully
you no
not
longer.
soon.
Yeah, come on, Trump, figure it out.
Yeah.
Come on, Trump.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, at the same token, like people are very against baiting, period. It's like it takes the fair chase out of it, and like I understand
Here's
that.
here's the thing too. I mean, it doesn't automatically bring hundreds of deer to your property because there's
Literally.
people that are in states that can bait and or feed, however you want to say it. They can do this and they still don't have success. They don't get the numbers. It's because they're not in the area. So it's like one does not equal the other. Just because you bait and feed or you have a feeder and it's consistent, whatever, that doesn't mean you have the deer numbers
You're
or
gonna
the
have
big
the
deer.
you're gonna have the raccoon numbers for sure.
Yeah, the raccoon, no, for sure. Yeah, one doesn't always equate to the other, but if you're in the right area and you have deer in your area and they find out you have food, okay, then yeah, it could become a little bit of, and I think that's the other point I was maybe hoping to bring up was, for us public land, almost exclusive guys, we hunt next to a ton of private land and I'm sure a lot of them feed anyways. But now that they have, if say in the instance that they are ethical, law-abiding people and they buy the permit and they feed even more indiscreetly, they're just open about it. And now on public land, are we going to see our numbers go down? Our visibility of numbers go down? Obviously, not the physical numbers going down because the permits aren't going to change. The number of deer allowed to be taken isn't going to change. But are we, as public land hunters, going to see, holy crap, I mean, I've started to see better numbers this year in the spots that I was hunting, but is it going to just go way plummet down because they're not even interested in coming where I am because their food is way better than the natural food in acorns that I have around me where I'm hunting? So I guess that's one concern that maybe some public people that don't have private land would fight against it on.
Right.
But I don't know if that's as big of a push on it because, I mean, they're still going to have to go to water. And, I mean, unless they put up a water trough for them too, but which there's nothing that says you can't, I don't think. But
I don't know. Speaking of water, I've never seen that creek so high in my entire life.
it got after it. We had so much rain. I think we had, I don't know, at the
6.
course, we had, 6 or 7 inches of rain over like 4 days. It got after it. And
So
then,
Suggs Creek runs behind my house. That's the same creek that we hunt on, and we're just 3 miles away. But like I have never seen that creek running before. Like it was full, and my neighbor 2 houses down, it had like it's at the creek's at the bottom of the hills. Like my backyard sits on a slope. Well, his flattens out for like 20 yards. It's just like a big like flat ground area, even with the creek, and it was 100% flooded. It was crazy. It was nuts. I mean, we got back from our trip, and I was like, "What the fuck?
yeah,
Like
it got
Armageddon
after it.
around here."
Yeah. Well, I think that wraps up the Tennessee bill. Brooks, did you have any Colorado bills that you're keeping your eye on?
Yeah, so well, we got a couple. There's this new wolf one apparently.
I
I
saw
got
this one
it's like
on
apparently
Outdoor Life.
yeah, it's HB 1258. Pretty much is trying to remove hunting and trapping as a tool for future management of wolves in the state. So
Oh,
uh,
stupid.
it's yeah. So of course they're trying to do more ballot box crap or push through
Outbox
legislation.
biology.
It's all BS, but we're a one-party rule right now, and I feel like these guys will just do it anyway because they don't care about us. They just care about themselves, their money, and just ruining our lives. So there's that.
That's a little dramatic.
I'm not wrong though.
Ruining our lives.
They're trying to
Yikes.
ruin. They already tried to ruin hunting last year. We said no.
Well, they failed.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I don't know. It's just like it's stupid. It's really stupid because somebody like gets their feelings hurt to see like, and Joe Rogan, like he will emphasize this all the time, and people are like, "Don't kill the bears." It's like, hey, dumbass, this thing would literally kill you in half a second. Like it doesn't. These wolves and these bears don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you or your feelings. Like they don't give a fuck about your cow's feelings either. Like they're gonna keep killing livestock and they're gonna keep killing elk herds until there's none left. And guess what? You're stuck eating your fucking grass burgers, you know?
Kale salad.
Yeah, like your kale sandwich. Like it's weird. But I don't know, it's kind of the society
My
that
big
we live in.
question is, where do they think the conservation, or, I forget what word you use, but like to control the population control, where is it going to come from if it's not from hunting or trapping of wolves? Like, do they not realize that if you don't do anything, if the humans don't intervene, they're at like pretty much the top of the food chain in the
Yes.
wild? What's going to keep them from just exploding their population?
Right.
Nothing.
And they're literally like it has been documented that they kill for sport. They don't kill for food. They kill to just kill because it's like it's what they do. It's what dogs do. Like if she could, she would kill everybody in the backyard, but she's too slow. Now the other two could catch them, but she's got little legs.
I got little legs.
But like,
well,
I mean, I understand they'll die of natural causes, and there will be. But then you're talking about, okay, overpopulation. That's how diseases get formed, and so there's diseases that are going to come out, and it's like, okay, what's ethical in your mind now? Is it okay? We let the population grow. Wait, now they're getting sick from each other because we let the population get too big, and we could have done something about it.
Yeah, it's the circle of life. Like there's too many of these, not enough of these. Now these come here and then these come back. It's just like it keeps happening over and over again. But it's like it's not like this where these come down here. But when like you have predators and prey, predators kill prey a lot faster than the prey are gone, and then the predators take a really long time to go away. You know what I mean? And it's like what little prey there is left, like they are just going to keep getting decimated over and over and over again. So I think reintroducing wolves to Colorado was a terrible thing. I think there were already wolves there to begin with, but and they say that grizzlies don't exist in Colorado either. I think they're full of shit on that.
I think they're full of shit on that too. There's a lot of rumblings too. People saying that they're here, but
Rumblings.
But that's a whole like. Apparently, it's like they'll call them cinnamon bears, and they'll just be like, "Oh, it's just cinnamon bear. It's not."
It's literally it's a black bear with a brown hide. It's like the thing's like twice the size of a black bear. You fuck. Like, how are you going to tell me that's not a grizzly bear? You know what I mean? Sorry. I don't know. I just like it's fucking crazy to me. I've been hunting in like Cray up near the Wyoming border, and I remember when I was 15 years old that like we saw paw prints from some sort of canine animal that were the same size as my hand, and I'm like, unless somebody's walking around their Great Dane up here in the middle of nowhere, I don't think so. Yeah, you know. And they're like, nah, there's no wolves in Colorado.
Well, Brooks, what's the other one? What's the other noteworthy one?
So just the Senate Bill 25-3, complete ban on semi-automatic firearms and rapid-fire devices. So pretty much bans about 90% of firearms here in Colorado. I mean, just over, I shouldn't say in Colorado, but 90% of firearms overall in Colorado. So, and then I think it's,
Does it ban them, or do you have to get like go through a trillion hoops to have them? Because it's like that. I know in like a lot of states in the Northeast.
now I believe this is just the complete, you can buy, sell, or trade here in Colorado.
Okay, but you can still have, right?
Yeah, if you already have it, you're not included. But they are trying to come out with, if you have any magazine over 15 rounds, you are now considered a criminal, no matter if you bought them before or not.
So it's the same thing as California. You can't carry anything more than 10 rounds, right? Isn't that what it is in California?
California's 10, here's 15.
So, I mean, what's 15?
idea.
Next year is going to be 10.
Yeah. So, okay, so apparently,
You can have 30 in Tennessee, Brooks.
Huh?
You can have 30 in Tennessee.
I know that's why I'm not going to say that. Okay, so I got the actual like bill in front of me. They're trying to propose. The bill prohibits knowingly manufacturing, distributing, transferring, selling, or purchasing a specified semi-automatic firearm, except that person may transfer a specified semi-automatic to an individual residing in another state or federally licensed firearm dealer. This bill exempts certain manufacturer, transfer, sale, and purchase from the prohibition, including specific transactions involving law enforcement agencies, peace officers, Department of Corrections, armed vehicle businesses, military, gunsmiths, educational programs, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Additionally, the prohibition does not apply to the transfer sale of specified semi-automatic firearm to an recipient or receipt or purchase of specified semi-automatic firearm by a person who completed a hunter education course certified by the Division of Parks and Wildlife within 5 years before making the purchase, completed basic firearm safety training within 5 years of or before making the purchase, completed an extended firearm safety course, or completed an extended firearm safety course more than 5 years before making the purchase, and completed the basic firearm safety course within 5 years before making the purchase. Like, five.
You
It's like
just made
reading the
it
same damn thing.
over and over again.
It's all bullshit, man.
So just like people are going to go to Wyoming to buy fireworks, they're going to do the same thing to buy guns.
A lawful manufacture, distribution, transfer, sale, or purchase of a specified semi-automatic firearm is a Class 2 misdemeanor, except a second offense is a Class 6 felony.
Whoa, crazy.
Yeah. So, this bill sets the requirements for a basic firearm safety course and extended firearm safety course. That's okay. In order to enroll in the basic or extended firearm safety course, persons must hold a valid firearm safety course eligibility card issued by a sheriff.
Brooks, will you send us a link to this when you're done, or when we're done, please?
Yes.
I want to read this, because this is
There's a lot to it.
pretty wild.
I'll send it to you guys right now.
Colorado's putting their people through it. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
Wild times.
Yeah, so it's a gong show here.
A what?
Huh?
The Gong Show?
It's a gong show here.
Elaborate.
What does that mean?
You guys never heard that?
Yeah.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to
He's going to read a whole nother book to us.
Urban Dictionary. Here we go.
We're getting even worse. We're going to Urban Dictionary. I mean, listen, I say fuck a lot, but I'm scared of what's about to come out.
All right.
Hit us with it.
All right. A word originating in the Canadian junior hockey culture, generally regarding the shitstorm that takes place after the games. Last night sure was a gong show.
So I mean, yeah, gong show. Like you could have just said it's a shit show, clown show, circus.
So another definition,
Oh,
slang
God.
term, which means everything is chaos, mostly heard and used in Canada. When I walked in on Adam and Ian, they were having a gong show in the power plant.
We're never gonna get monetized because of you now.
Stop.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to edit this all out.
You're like, yeah, we're gonna have to.
So basically, it means just it's chaotic here.
Chaotic. There you go. So
Valid.
you can edit out the holy shit. It's wild.
Boy. Well, fellas, it's always a good time getting everybody together and sharing our thoughts. Any closing thoughts without using Urban Dictionary?
Nah. Jesus.
I sent in the form to order some new bows or bows. Arrows. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll hang on after we get done recording because I saw it and I remember now I was going to talk to you. Well, you got to get yourself going to the airport. I don't know. We'll talk tomorrow about the arrows, but
That's fine.
yeah, Brooks is getting more arrows built. So, and you should too.
You
Yeah.
should.
You listeners and viewers, you.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
it.
gonna need some more arrows. I'm gonna have to like completely redo my arrow stock because they don't make the arrows that I have anymore.
I'll get you taken care of. Bryant needs some. So, Bryant, I know you're listening. I'm expecting a text as soon as you listen to this. You need some arrows, buddy.
Then he'll
He's
also
gonna have to
know
listen
that
through the
since
whole thing.
if you don't text him, also, I mean, you didn't listen.
Yeah.
He probably, when he heard gong show, he was like, "Oh, I'm out of here."
Yeah, I'm out on this.
Yeah,
But
fucking
no,
Don's.
I guess my closing thoughts starting to get some ideas together, and maybe we'll elaborate more on a further episode. But I'm looking at possibly putting together like a pre-order type deal for viewers and listeners that are interested in some merchandise. I still have to get you guys your hats. I have your hats. I've just been bad about sending them to you and giving them to you, Tanner, because I don't need to mail it to you. But no, I guess gonna find a way to gauge some interest on some pre-orders on hats and things like that, and some other merchandise to get some people some swag.
Heck yeah.
So
Idea.
that's in the works, and other things starting to look at for like next year's doing expos and stuff like that. So we're working on it. We're working on it slowly but surely. We're gonna try growing a little bit.
I think this summer will be a good summer for you.
Looking forward to it for sure. So, all right, boys. Well, it was a good one. Had fun. We covered a lot. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for listening.
Later.